Okay, so what's the deal with biofuels? I used to think when we were able to turn plants into biofuel, our world would look like this. But we actually already have plants fueling our everyday lives. Corn-based biofuel, or ethanol, is mixed in at 10% of all our gasoline. And we can use oil from plants or wasted fast food grease to make biodiesel, which makes diesel engines run better than if they just had fossil fuel alone. It's exciting, but we still have a long way to go till we're fully plant-powered. Introducing U.S. biofuels. First up is corn ethanol, the boomer generation of biofuels. Really hoping boomers don't suddenly find TikTok. I'm calling them the boomers because we refer to them as first-generation biofuels since they use up a food source. That makes them less environmentally friendly than the younger generation of biofuels, which use non-edible plant parts like grasses or even the wasted corn stalks to make fuel. We're trying to transition from first-generation biofuels to second, but the non-edible plant parts are having a harder time succeeding. And buying a house, paying off student loans, converting to ethanol. Then the boomer corn, because corn already had a system in place for its production because we've been using it for years for agriculture. Corn also just has a simpler conversion process than the second-generation biofuels, but hopefully they'll be reaching retirement age soon. Okay, biofuel number 2. Algae biofuels. They are the gifted and talented kid that never quite lived up to expectations. Algae use photosynthesis to turn energy from the sun into oil. The idea was to then turn that oil into biodiesel, which is promising because algae can produce a lot of oil in a small amount of land. About a decade ago, millions of dollars went into this plant and not much has come out of it. The problem is that we still don't have a good way to separate the oil from all the algae in water. And it's way too easy for other strains to contaminate these big ponds of algae. Most companies have since given up, but who knows, maybe the gifted and talented kid's gonna reach a breakthrough soon.
You guys have officially made me lose my marbles! This is a nightmare! You freaking freaks! When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
Okay, biofuel number 3. Cellulosic ethanol, which is the ethanol made from non-edible plants like either wasted corn stalks or grasses. I'm giving them the title Queen's Guard of biofuels because they are tough to crack, meaning that we have a tough time gaining access to the sugars in cellulosic material, which is where the energy is stored for fuels. Scientists are developing pretreatments which can open up the cell walls to gain access to the sugars. But why are we even putting up with the Queen's Guard of biofuels in the first place? It's because if we can use wasted material like corn stalks or grasses that are easy to grow, it'll be more environmentally friendly than using food sources. And we also just don't want to use food sources so then people can eat them. Until we figure out how to get the Queen's Guard to open up though, corn is still king. So if you want to make biofuels out of non-edible plants, you have to gain access to the sugars through a pretreatment. Plant sugars are connected together in long chains called cellulose. Okay, so to show the rest, think of this strand of a Twizzler as a bundle of the cellulose sugar chains. That's called a microfibril. They get bundled into a macrofibril. Then the macrofibrils get bound together to form a cellulosic fiber. Then a bunch of these cellulosic fibers get covered by lignin, which acts like the packaging. As you can imagine, the lignin makes it pretty hard to access the sugars. That's why we need pretreatments. Pretreatment sometimes removes the lignin or it disassembles the fibers so they're less tightly bound. I once did a research project that showed what can happen to a fiber after it gets pretreated. See the difference in how tightly bound everything is? I'll try to show an actual pretreatment in my next TikTok.
Okay, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the motherfucker in the house bored and I'm bored in the motherfucker in the house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house bored. I'm bored in the motherfucker in the house bored.
I'm glad you brung it up because I've been dying to talk about it for a fucking hot minute. First of all,
girl, don't do it. It's not worth it. I'm not gonna do it, girl. I was just thinking about it. I'm not gonna do it. I did it.